Good evening and thank you for joining us on this Sunday. It has been a horrific month for people living in the nation's heartland. The latest severe storm system overnight has killed at least 16 people, and tonight more than 100 million of you are under the threat of dangerous weather. The worst of the devastation stretching across Texas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas. Denton and Cook counties in Texas are among the hardest hit. CBS's Dave Malkoff is in Valley View, Texas, about 60 miles north of Dallas. Good evening to you, Dave. I see there's a lot of devastation there behind you.
There is, Jerika. Good evening. The threat of severe weather remains active tonight, and scenes like the one behind me have people in the South and Midwest bracing for impact. Deadly severe weather is on the move. Multiple violent tornadoes are moving across the South and Midwest tonight, where more than a dozen people are dead and many more injured. The trails of damage stretching across Texas, Arkansas, and Oklahoma.
Pellets headed right for us.
Daylight exposed the devastation from a confirmed tornado in Cook County, Texas. From the roof, it's all coming down.
Yeah, everything coming down. We saw how it was moving, everything.
This is what remains of a rest stop about 90 minutes north of Dallas.
I kid you not, 30 seconds in, someone goes, "Get to the bathroom now."
That voice was holiday traveler Hugo Parra, whose quick thinking likely saved lives. So you got everybody into both of the bathrooms?
Both, and some people stay on the hallway.
What we heard was, "Get to the bathroom now." And that's when everything hit. It saved me and my wife's life, and 50, 60 other people.
The same system then moved through neighboring Arkansas, where at least 6 people are confirmed dead. Rain and massive hailstones pounded homes across the South this weekend. In Oklahoma, 2 people were killed and several more injured when powerful storms passed through overnight. And back here in Texas, search and rescue efforts are still underway, and officials fear the death toll could continue to climb. Power remains out for hundreds of thousands of customers from here in Texas all the way up to Ohio as power crews get ready to put the power back on for people this Memorial Day weekend, Jerika.
Yeah, it's a rough one. Terrifying accounts there. Dave Malkoff, thank you.
Well, at least 2,000 people have been buried under a massive landslide that swept through Papua New Guinea.
Yeah, the disaster wiping out many buildings, including houses, schools, and hotels. Good Day's Robert Moses. He is tracking this and has the latest on the destruction, also rescue efforts as well. Robert.
Tashani and Dan, Papua New Guinea is a country of more than 10 million people located north of Australia in the southwestern Pacific. This morning, a village is reeling as thousands are displaced and thousands more dead.
Everyone were fast asleep, not knowing that anything could take place, and they were fast asleep, and all of a sudden, natural catastrophe took place.
A landslide in a mountainous area of the South Pacific nation of Papua New Guinea early Friday morning has buried more than 2,000 people alive, according to the government. That new estimate is more than triple a United Nations estimate of 670. Mud-caked locals have used spades to dig for the buried. So far, the remains of only 6 people have been found.
There's an elementary school that's buried, fully buried. We have houses, buses, vehicles, hotels, guest houses. Let's say more than about 50 stores, mothers, projects, all gone, all vanished.
The earth continued to give way over the weekend. Some help arrived yesterday thanks to a local builder who donated an excavator, the first piece of heavy equipment on scene. The fear is that many children are among the dead. Papua New Guinea is Australia's nearest neighbor. The country, which was once an Australian colony, gained independence in 1975. Australia has promised to send aircraft and other equipment to aid in the recovery effort. Some villagers, though, already heartbroken and traumatized, fear that heavy machinery could further damage the bodies of their loved ones. And about 4,000 survivors have been displaced, so they have nowhere to go, and they need supplies in the days ahead as they figure out what's next and, in many cases, mourn the loved ones they've lost. Dan and Tashani, back to you.
Robert, thank you for that report.
It looks like a tornado hit this neighborhood in Cruzeiro do Sul, a small town in southern Brazil, not far from the Argentinian border. If floods cause this devastation, sweeping away houses, buildings, and signs of life in a matter of days.
Isso aí é uma cidade. Era uma cidade do Passo.
This was like a city. It had asphalt, houses, clinics, a butcher shop, a market. It was like a city. Now it is completely devastated. All is gone.
The destruction is similar in other towns in this region after floodwaters rushed through this month, killing more than 150 people and forcing more than 500,000 Brazilians from their homes. Some areas received up to 10 times the normal amount of rain. Elisete Petri came to see what was left of the home she lived in for more than 40 years. The retired teacher found her roof in the backyard and the front door lodged in a tree more than 100 meters away.
Às vezes até pode ser uma covardia a gente não querer ver isso.
Maybe I'm a coward because I don't want to see it, but it's a very complicated moment. It's very sad. Our history is here. It's like my daughter said. We live so many good moments here.
She lives in Arroio do Meio, a small town that remained isolated for many days after the floods. That's because the main bridge connecting the town to larger cities in the region was also destroyed. Scientists attribute this unprecedented devastation to a confluence of weather conditions linked to climate change. The Brazilian government says many areas cannot be rebuilt due to increased risk of extreme weather events. Egon and Edith Paller say they decided to leave even before an official decision was made. Their home is one of the few left, but everything else is gone.
It's very hard. We lived here all our lives. I worked in a tannery here for 45 years. I feel it, but what we are going to do, it's hard. It's hard to make the right choice.
The destruction is vast and widespread. Residents here seem to be aware it will be years before life returns to normal, if ever does. Ian Boechat, VOA News, Rio Grande do Sul, Brazil.